So clearly, people, we have a severely demented person here. One view is mine, and whoever is stalking my channel, and there's more than one, look at that. Clearly, people, I've pointed this out before. This video hasn't even been up for 5 minutes. Now, is that YouTube staff as these things are going up? Because I came across a video here with Alex Jones doing some interviews with some women that have YouTube channels. And what do you call it? They were talking about how YouTube was censoring them. Right? Hold on a minute. Anyway, as I was saying, they were talking about how YouTube was like just not allowing people to see their channel, and were removing like monetization and just the whole 9 yards to shut them down because they were trying to fundraise for the Harvey victims. And YouTube didn't want them doing that for whatever reason. So they had to do it outside of YouTube through other social media platforms, which in the end, they ended up raising like $2 million between the two of them that was donated to another charity that actually works in the Texas area with the people on the ground, right? So this is why I'm suspicious about YouTube sometimes, because obviously they know I'm being trolled by a network of some kind, right? It doesn't seem to concern them, even though that they use advertisement as a means to shut down their what do you call it, monetization program, so they don't have to pay out as much money as they used to. But they allow their videos to be connected to hate websites such as GMOI and whatnot, and just the whole like the YouTube user base, right, to be preyed upon, because there's other YouTube users that these people defame and degrade and and whatnot, right? So I'm trying to do something here. They brought me to I'm looking for my other channel, like the other page. This is they're in the process of bringing in this old stuff. Like they're bringing in a new face format, right? And they're just it's complicated. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I like the old one better. They're always changing things. All right. Look at this. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to show you. That is not what I wanted to show you. No. So anyway, they definitely censor. Okay, people. My subscriber list stays the same. It never moves. And then they drop off about 7 or 8 at a time. And then they come back up to 356 and they just stay there. Right? And as you can see, as I upload, almost the minute I upload, oftentimes I will get that. It's as if somebody is sitting there being paid, waiting for specific uploads from specific channels to come in and do such things, as the channel itself is being censored through a third-party entity that is somehow being managed through YouTube. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. Do you see that? Subscribers, 356. It never changes. And when it does, the numbers will drop. It will go down to 348, and will sit there for a while. And then they creep back in, which I often think are just multiple accounts. I don't think they're individuals. I think they're multiple accounts. And let's just see what happens. Okay, people. September 6th. It's in the evening now. This camera's a little low. Hold on a minute. Okay, I don't want to keep this for too long. The reason I'm doing this video right now, people, is because I got back that amendment that somebody tried to do for me. Now, from what I've been told, apparently a lawyer looked at it, but from what I don't think it's a lawyer that's done any kind of civil claim. I like a notice of civil claim. I don't think so. Because just from going on my memory in terms of the way they want things written in terms of statement of facts, legal basis, and relief sought, right? Everything is supposed to be numbered and broken into paragraphs. This is not it. This is run-on paragraphs. It's just one big long run-on paragraph. That's it. The font is too big too. The font is like 15 or an 18, where I would use a 12. At least a 12. 11 or 12. That's the font I would use. Evidence. You're not supposed to add evidence. You have the material facts and you have the evidence. So anyway, the person who wrote this did the best they could. English is a second language. It is very noticeable. Apparently the computer wasn't working at school. She's learning to be a cop while she works. Between going to school, and she goes to school 2 or 3 days a week, and then she works 2 or 3 days. So, but she speaks a different language, right? I'm not sure what the language is. I just know that English is not her first language. English is my strong point. The only thing is, people, once I sit in front of the computer, I'm going to take this as a cue, but just from what I've seen right now in terms of what I read, and it's no disrespect, too much is missing. Notice how it goes on certain words, right? Missing. I was told that I'm supposed to just focus on Uncle John and basically the power of attorney versus what's going on with my daughter and the inadequate health care that she's receiving. What's going on with my grandson with the inadequate health care that he's receiving in terms of no prescription coverage, no dental coverage, even though we have a healthy kids program across the province for poor kids. Right? The fact that my daughter is in labor tonight, having her baby, and I'm like extremely, extremely, extremely uncomfortable going to the hospital for any length of time. Right? Unless I absolutely have to. Like if something happened to Andre and I had to go. But for the birth of my other grandchild, you know, I'm not there, people. The fact that I can't access the healthcare system with confidence, right? Because I'm concerned for my safety because of the retaliation against the social workers and other hospital staff that work in these facilities under the Fraser Health Authority that are habitual in their treatment of the elderly, that in this is no mention of. No mention of the Mental Health Act, no mention of the Community Living Act, no mention of the Bank Act, no mention technically of the Power of Attorney Act, no mention of the Criminal Code of Canada, no mention of any of that. Now, being that this needs to be rewritten, I think what I'm going to do, people, I'm going with my heart. My kids have been severely affected by this situation. It's not about Uncle John and his money. It's the fact that my kids were ran through the mud, treated like criminals, right? Had security called on them more than once, right? Were disrespected by professional people that supposedly were hired to represent the immediate family to the patient that they were servicing, right? And my kids are still suffering. That needs to be in the amendment, right? So I am going to take, I'm not going to start tonight because I was outside cleaning the porch and getting ready for my neighbor, right? As I work my way down the stairs to start pulling down that plastic. He said it wasn't necessary to pull down the plastic, that we can just plastic it back up. I said no. It's coming down. It's been up there for 7 years. It's coming down. We're going to give it a good sweep, good clean. You know, we're going to check everything nice, right? Do whatever. And then I have a roll of plastic. I bought it for Fukushima radiation in case Japan blows its stack down there in Daiichi, right? I have a big roll of plastic for the basement windows if and when we ever had to hunker down for something stupid like that, right? So my neighbor's more than welcome to use that roll of plastic when the time comes. So, but it's my job to pull down what's there and clean it, right? So I'm kind of working my way down the stairs. So today I got the porch all figured out and cleaned up the back a bit more, and you know, I'm getting ready for the social worker to inspect my stairs. Since when does a social worker become a licensed inspector for stairs? Which makes me think, people, I already had somebody warn me about this. They told me that I needed to put in an application for an order so that when it gets closer to court, social services can't come in and try and take my grandson away from me because I'm in court. Also, too, I needed to put in an application in for an order for the judge or the masters to acknowledge that I'm not a homegrown terrorist because I'm pursuing this matter in a court of law, right? Of course, I never had time to do that. Not that I know what forms I was supposed to use. And, you know, I'm a Canadian. I'm a little more gullible than that, you know, right? I'd like to think that, you know, we have justice here and, you know, we have equal opportunity and, you know, so am I going to get blindsided, you know, because I didn't take that advice when it came in? I didn't run off and go get those orders done right, you know, dot my I's and cross my T's type of thing. So I'm just going to have to go with the flow here, right? So I've got, today's the 6th, I've got till the 15th to do this, technically to the 14th. My English skills are pretty strong, so I've had some time to just kind of disconnect from it. I can use this as a base, what this other person wrote. Thank you very much. I'm sure you're watching my videos. I can use this as a base to, you know, remove the riffraff in terms of repeating myself throughout my notice of claim, in terms of trying to show the material facts so that the judge doesn't bypass those material facts and try and dismiss the case. Because my family is suffering, I am going to include in my amendment, my family, and in addition to my oldest daughter, who is falling through the cracks under the care of Fraser Health Authority, that definitely shows, you know, a disparity when it comes to patients with or without money, right? The ones with money, obviously, they get housed for months on end in hospitals, right, with the best of the best, until they're tucked away and hopefully forgotten about by their loved ones who they lived with for 23 years, and that's the bottom line. As we struggle, wondering where he is every day, how he's doing, you know, trying not to feel abandoned, because we know he didn't want this. He would never have done this. This is not something he would have done. That's for sure, people. And so I guess that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to have to hunker down in the next day or two, right? I'm too tired because I was working again all day long, people. I was watering plants at 10 o'clock at night, you know, and I'll be getting up and, you know, getting ready for the inspection, just like with the city, with the whip on my back. You notice how it comes in waves? First it was the city that had me out there for more than 6 weeks straight, people, straight 6 weeks. I have the video proof, right? And now, just, it hasn't even been 2 weeks before the city calmed down, and now what do we got? We've got the porch inspector, right? That, you know, wants to say they want to help me. I don't know how they're going to help me. Right. If they want to help me, why don't they do something about these hate websites on YouTube, not on YouTube, on GMY, that attach themselves to YouTube channels, right? Because there's more than one that they put their sites on, right? And I hear somebody coming up the stairs. So anyway, now that my son is gone, we just got into a great big fight. Argument, right? Over the bathroom. Accusing me of lying that it's getting fixed because it's not getting fucking fixed fast enough. And I'm trying to explain to him, right, that I'm trying to get help with the putting on, like, the taking out the walls, the shower around the bathtub, and replacing the drywall and putting in new stuff, right? Can't just change the ceiling. It's not that simple. And he's mad at me because his light's not getting fixed. And I'm telling him, like, I told you what we need to do. I told you the landlady doesn't want to fix anything. It's bad enough that she's having to fix the fucking bathroom now. Right? Last thing she's going to want is fix the light. And I told him, like, what we need to do is go either to the thrift store, buy a secondary light fixture, or a new one. Replace the light fixture first, see if that works. If that doesn't work, then maybe it might be connected to the garage, but I'm not going to know that until I pull down the fucking plastic and have my neighbor look at it. He wants this all done in a fucking day, people. I called a plumber. I had a plumber or an electrician come in. He screwed the light on and fucking came on. He said it didn't need to be fixed, and he took off, and then the light went out and it won't go back on. And I'm telling him I'm stressed out, right? You know, he's putting pressure on me where pressure is not due. He doesn't want to. You just blame the government. You're just blaming them, blaming. Well, if this isn't the government's responsibility with all these overinflated fucking houses where people can't afford to go anywhere anymore, you can't even afford to pay the fucking rent where you live. The landlords are getting mad because they can't jack up rent by $700 to keep up with the market. Whose fault is that? That's the government's fault. Got into an argument with my neighbors over here. Those ones that they teach their kids how to be racist and tell Andre that he does over the fence, we don't like you, we don't like you. And I'm like, well, looking in the fence and I'm saying, well, if you don't like him, get down off the fence. You know, why are you talking to him? Why are you hanging over the fence telling him you don't like him if you don't like him? I told those people that's what they teach their kids, is to be racist. And and I'm like, I'm not your wife. Go fight with your wife. I'm not your wife. Go fight with your wife. I'm not your wife. And I just fucking kept on walking. Called him on his fucking garbage. You know what he said in his... Well, it's contained. It's contained. What, behind a fence? My kids, I see that garbage out there in their fucking back fenced, contained area. They had a dump truck come in. They took half the stuff and left half the stuff behind. And that now will sit there for 7 years. As he's asking me to move my recycling bin over because it's too hard to turn the car around, even though he's got a, 13, 14 birth. To 1 day a week. I don't know. People are crazy, man. People are fucking crazy, man. You're fucking crazy. Yeah, my son is like mad at me. He mad at me because I did park events. I didn't want to go to park events. Waste money giving away. He'll never let me live that down, people. Never. Just like my neighbor came over the other day. He said, oh, well, you know, I'll tell you what to do with this stuff. And I'm like, hold on a minute. You need to see what's in this bin. I said, look inside this bin. I said, do you see that? That's craft material. I said, something you forgot that maybe you don't even know about. I worked with 40 to 60 kids at one point in the past. My son holds that against me. Well, the neighborhood just doesn't think it ever fucking happened, and therefore it gives them the right just to fucking kick me in the teeth like these guys over here, right? With their racist kids that are just like little teeny weeny children that they're teaching how to be racist by calling my grandson names and saying that they don't like him as they're hanging over a fence, when in fact, you know what? That fence, have you seen how high that fence is over there? Why are they hanging over that fence? Just to pick on a little boy playing in an alley with his other friends. Is it Andre's fault that those kids are never allowed out in the alley? To play? Right? They always have to play behind the fence? Oh, but they're allowed to hang over the fence and say, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you. And then Daddy gets up there tonight as I'm walking to the store with Andre. Oh, well, you know, you need to move your recycling bin because I can't get my car out, even though you can get a car and a half, 2 cars through the freaking driveway. I said, what, you can't take 10 seconds out of your day to, like, just do a little bit wider berth? No, you need to move that. You know, it's inconvenient. I said, look it, buddy, like, don't talk to me about fucking garbage. What about your garbage in the back? Oh, well, that's contained. Oh, so contained garbage gets a green light. Is that it? Is that why the city lets them get away with it? Oh my God, people, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I have to work on this amendment as my kids are now getting mad at me because the shit that is in the process of, you know, making arrangements in terms of repairs and that type of stuff is being made, and because it's not happening instantly, I'm the one that's fucking taking the slack for this.